Imagine this. You're staring at your phone, reading her text over and over, and yet something inside you feels unsettled. The words look harmless, maybe even polite, but there's this gnawing voice whispering that it doesn't mean what it says. And you're right, because when it comes to her texts, the surface is rarely the truth. What she sends you is a carefully measured signal, designed to reveal just enough, while keeping the real intention tucked behind the screen. And most men, maybe even you, completely miss it. That's why you feel frustrated, confused, or even tricked. But if you can decode these hidden meanings, you'll see a side of her that she never meant for you to see. Let's start with the simplest trap, the short, vague reply. Okay, cool. Yeah. Most men take this as laziness or distraction, but in reality, it's distance. She is withdrawing her emotional energy from you. The hidden message? You no longer hold the same weight in her mind. She isn't busy. She isn't tired. She is signaling that she doesn't need to invest more. If you keep chasing, you'll only confirm her decision. Then comes the opposite. Texts loaded with emojis, exclamation marks, even unnecessary repetition. Hey, or can't wait to see you. Men often mistake this for pure enthusiasm. But a seasoned eye knows it's also performance. She's not only texting you, she's testing how much excitement you return. The meaning isn't in her words, it's in the ratio. If she's overcompensating, it's because she's uncertain of her hold on you. She's covering insecurity with digital fireworks, hoping you'll validate it. And then there's the silence, the space between her last message and your next. Men panic here. They wonder, did I say something wrong? Did I push too hard? Is she losing interest? But silence is not rejection. Silence is leverage. It's her way of holding the power in the conversation, making you anticipate, making you sweat. And when you finally give in and double text, you surrender that power completely. You've been reading her texts literally, but texts are not literal. They are psychological chess moves. She doesn't type with her fingers. She types with her emotions, her doubts, and her need for control. And if you don't see this, you'll keep losing the game before it even begins. Have you ever wondered why a simple, "Hey, how's your day?" from her can feel either warm and inviting or cold and dismissive? That's because her texts are never about the words themselves. They're about timing, tone, and context. A woman can use the same sentence to send two completely different messages, depending on what she really wants from you at that moment. And if you don't understand this, you'll keep falling into the trap of assuming she's being straightforward. She rarely is. When she texts you first thing in the morning, it's not just politeness. It's placement. She's placing herself at the start of your day to remind you that she exists in your mental space before anything else. It's a subtle claim of priority. But when she waits until late at night, dropping a casual "what's up" when you're tired, it's not random. It's strategy. She wants to test if you're still willing to give her attention when your energy is low. If you respond instantly, she knows she still has control. If you delay, she feels the tension of slipping influence. And notice the way she mirrors your texting style. If you send long, thoughtful replies, she'll start matching your length. If you're brief, she might shrink her messages too. This isn't coincidence, it's calibration. She's studying you in real time, adapting her style to maintain balance, or sometimes to disrupt it just enough to make you chase harder. But the most dangerous texts are the ones that seem caring on the surface. Did you eat? Are you okay? These might look sweet, but often they're not about your well-being. They're about control disguised as care. By checking on you, she reestablishes herself as the emotional anchor in your life. She places herself in the position of the one who gives you comfort, while silently measuring how much you depend on her attention. Here's what most men never realize. Her texts are not just words, they are windows into her psychology. They reveal not just what she feels about you, but how she wants you to feel about her. Every emoji, every pause, every delayed reply is part of a silent tug of war for emotional leverage. And the men who can't see this end up giving away their power without even realizing it. Think about the last time she texted you something that didn't quite add up. Maybe she said, "I've just been so busy lately," but somehow she still had time to post on social media, reply to her friends instantly, and scroll for hours. You told yourself not to overthink it, but deep down, you felt it. The hidden meaning wasn't that she was busy, it was that she was too busy for you. And that single word, busy, was her polite way of telling you that you had slipped down her list of priorities. Most men swallow that excuse because they'd rather accept the lie than face the truth staring them in the face. Another layer men overlook is the breadcrumb text. You know the one. It's vague, it doesn't push the conversation forward, but it keeps you on the hook. A random meme, a single word reply, or a message that doesn't actually require a response. It's not conversation, it's maintenance. She doesn't want to lose you completely, but she doesn't want to give you full attention either. That's her way of keeping you orbiting around her, just in case she wants the validation later. And if you treat those breadcrumbs like a feast, you've already given her more power than she gave you. Then there's the carefully delayed response. She saw your message, maybe even smiled at it. But instead of answering, she put her phone down and waited. Not because she forgot, not because she was overwhelmed, but because she knows the longer she waits, the more anxious you'll become. That's not cruelty, it's conditioning. She's training you to value her response more than your own self-control. And the second you rush to reply when she finally does, the training is complete. Now let's talk about the double meaning in her compliments. If she texts, "You're so sweet," it sounds good, but pay attention. Sweet is safe. Sweet is non-threatening. Sweet is friend zone territory, dressed up as flattery. She's not admiring your masculinity. She's boxing you into safety. And most men beam with pride when they hear it, blind to the fact that she's telling them they don't spark her desire. Every word she types is a mirror reflecting how she sees you in that moment. If you ignore the reflection, you'll keep living in the illusion. But once you see it clearly, you'll never read her texts the same way again. There's a reason her texts sometimes feel like riddles you can't solve. She's not trying to confuse you by accident. She's doing it on purpose. Ambiguity is a tool. When she sends something like, "Ha ha, you're funny," without elaborating, she leaves you wondering. Was it genuine amusement or was it dismissal? That uncertainty isn't random. It's leverage. By keeping you guessing, she keeps your attention hooked, because now you're the one searching for meaning while she controls the silence. Men often underestimate how intentional women are with punctuation. A period at the end of a short sentence. Sure. Fine. Whatever. Isn't just grammar. It's a wall. It's her way of cutting off warmth, signaling emotional distance while technically saying something neutral. Meanwhile, an ellipsis, maybe, isn't hesitation. It's bait. She's dangling the possibility of more, forcing you to lean in and try harder to pull it out of her. Then there's the test, hidden inside the innocent question. Who are you with? What are you doing tonight? It sounds casual, but beneath it is a scan for your priorities. She wants to see where she ranks in your life. Do you drop everything to text her back instantly? Do you reveal too much detail in your answer? Or do you respond with calm confidence, showing that your world doesn't revolve around her schedule? The way you answer defines how much respect she feels for you. But the most overlooked signal is when she suddenly texts you about another man. Maybe it's a coworker who's so annoying, or a guy friend who doesn't understand her. It seems like venting, but it's not. It's comparison. She's planting another male figure in the conversation to see how you react. If you get jealous, she knows she has emotional control. If you act indifferent, she may push harder just to break your composure. Either way, the test isn't about the man she mentioned. It's about you. Every pause, every symbol, every casual question is a calculated move in her silent strategy. She doesn't have to raise her voice or make demands, because through her texts, she can pull strings without ever showing her hand. And if you don't catch it, you'll keep dancing to music you never realized she was playing. One of the most dangerous mistakes a man can make is believing her texts are neutral. They never are. Every message she sends either pulls you closer, pushes you away, or keeps you hanging in the middle. And the cruelest part? She often decides your role long before you realize it. If you've ever noticed her sending you warm, engaging texts one day and then going cold the next, that's not mood swings, it's control. She's teaching you that her attention is unpredictable, which makes you chase it harder. That's not affection. That's conditioning. Let's look at the apology text. "Sorry, I fell asleep." Or, "Sorry, I just saw this." Do you really believe that? More often than not, it's a soft way of saying, "I chose not to answer when you wanted me to." The apology isn't about regret. It's about preservation. She's keeping the door cracked just enough so you won't confront the truth, that your priority in her world isn't what you hoped it was. And because men hate confrontation, they accept it, smile, and say, "No worries." But deep down, they're bleeding respect for themselves without even realizing it. Then there are the guilt texts. "You don't text me like you used to." Or, "I feel like you don't care anymore." Men rush to defend themselves here, pouring energy into proving their effort. But that's exactly what she wanted. By making you feel guilty, she recenters the spotlight on herself, forcing you to prove your value over and over. And the more you do, the more invisible your self-respect becomes. Even the casual "I miss you" isn't always what it seems. Sometimes it's real longing, but many times it's nothing more than her needing reassurance that she still has you. If she misses you, watch what she does, not what she types. Because "I miss you" without effort is not love, it's possession. Here's the brutal truth. She doesn't send texts to fill silence. She sends them to measure you, to test you, to draw out your weaknesses and confirm her power. And if you keep answering blindly, you're not just reading her words. You're living inside her strategy, one that was never designed to let you win. The hardest truth to accept is this: her texts are not really about you. They're about how she feels in the moment, about how much control she has, and about the image she wants to project. When she tells you, "I'm not ready for anything serious right now," she isn't always being honest about timing. What she's really saying is, "I'm not ready for something serious with you." And when she writes, "You deserve better," it isn't selflessness. It's a shield. It's her way of stepping back without carrying the weight of guilt. Men waste countless nights staring at screens, dissecting her every word while missing the bigger picture. A woman's texts are a mirror of her respect for you. If her words are vague, dismissive, or inconsistent, it's not your job to decode them endlessly. It's your job to decide if you even want to keep playing a game built on confusion. But most men don't do that. They cling to hope. They hold on to the illusion that the next text will finally give them clarity, when in reality, the message has been clear all along. Her patterns reveal everything, if you're willing to see them. When a woman values you, her texts won't leave you anxious. They won't make you question your worth. They'll feel steady, honest, and alive with genuine connection. You won't have to decode emojis, wait for hours in silence, or justify contradictions. The truth is, when a woman respects you deeply, she doesn't play games because she knows she doesn't need to. So the question isn't, what does her text mean? The real question is, why are you settling for a woman who makes you guess? Because once you stop chasing hidden meanings, you'll stop giving your energy to people who only give you confusion in return. And when that shift happens, you'll notice something powerful. Suddenly, the right women will stop being puzzles and start being partners. Now let me ask you, have you ever wasted nights overanalyzing her texts, only to realize later the truth was obvious from the start? Share your experience in the comments below. I want to hear your story. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it tonight. Because the hidden meanings are everywhere, and once you see them, you can never unsee them.